They gave America its most beloved idiot spy. But when the camera stopped rolling...
Oh, I know.
But you don't understand.
Some of them walked into lives far darker than anything Maxwell Smart ever faced. One hid a secret his family buried for decades.
So you're Mr. Big.
So you're Maxwell Smart. Last we meet, face to face.
I said, who wrote it? They said, Mel Brooks and Buck Henry. I said, I'll do it.
One became a face seen by millions.
There's anxiety in the air.
And nobody knew it was him.
Hello, Chief.
One ended up on the streets. And one, at 93, just told the truth for the very first time.
The weirdest thing I've ever seen. Almost.
Let's step back into the golden age of television.
Maxwell Smart is a bumbling kind of dreamer.
Well, poor 99. He didn't notice she was a girl at all.
Number one on the list is Don Adams, who played the bumbling, lovable Maxwell Smart across all 5 seasons from 1965 to 1970. He was 42 when the show debuted and won 3 Emmy Awards for the role.
In Hollywood, the winner is Don Adams.
The catchphrases he invented, "Would you believe?" Sorry about that, Chief. Entered the American language permanently. Created by Mel Brooks and Buck Henry, the show was a direct spoof of the James Bond films.
But not in this color.
But that's the only color it come in.
Oh, well, in that case, let me try it on.
And Adams made the premise work through sheer comic commitment. He ranked number 12 in the ratings in his first season, a remarkable debut for a spy who couldn't spy. What most viewers never knew was that Don Adams was born Donald James Yarmy on April 13, 1923 in Manhattan. He joined the Marines in World War II and fought in the invasion of Guadalcanal, where he was the only survivor of his entire platoon.
I have an ambulance downstairs. Just a minute.
He then contracted black water fever, a deadly complication of malaria, and spent over a year hospitalized. After recovery, he served as a drill instructor. The wry, unshakable cool he gave Maxwell Smart was built on something very real. He married 3 times: Adelaide Adams, Dorothy Bracken, Judy Luciano, and fathered 7 children across those 3 marriages.
Don wasn't alone for long. He met a 20-year-old dancer named Dorothy Bracken at Summerstock in upstate New York.
We fell in love there, and it was wonderful working with him, you know, because he was fun to work with on stage. And
he took his stage name from his first wife, a singer.
You wouldn't care to make a little wage on the side, would you, Smart?
Yes, I think so, Stalker. How about $5?
After Get Smart, typecasting haunted every step he took. A dramatic role written specifically by his own son-in-law for the revived Alfred Hitchcock Presents went to Martin Landau because producers feared Adams simply couldn't shake Maxwell Smart. He returned to the character in 1980 with The Nude Bomb, again in 1989, and once more in a 1995 Fox revival that lasted just 7 episodes before cancellation.
13? 13.
Put a penny in.
What?
Put a penny in here.
What are you talking about, 13? This is 86. Open up.
His other great legacy was the voice of Inspector Gadget, a role that introduced him to an entirely new generation.
You see, I happen to have a very distinctive and unique voice.
I said, who wrote it? They said, Mel Brooks and Buck Henry. I said, I'll do it.
Don Adams died on September 25, 2005 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles from a lung infection following a hip fracture the year before. He was 82 years old. Number 2 on the list is Barbara Feldon, who played the brilliant, unflappable Agent 99 across all 5 seasons from 1965 to 1970.
I know that under that metal body of yours, there beats the mechanical heart of a really nice guy.
Jaime, you're crying.
Take it easy, Jaime. You'll rust your eyeball.
She was the straight woman to Don Adams' chaos, the actual competence behind every mission that somehow got solved, and she received 2 Emmy nominations for making it look completely effortless. What made Agent 99 genuinely groundbreaking for 1965 was that she was smarter than the man she worked beside, and the show never tried to hide it.
I can just see Siegfried sitting up there gloating.
You don't happen to see his room number, do you?
No, Max.
What most viewers never knew was that Barbara Feldon was born Barbara Hall on March 12, 19 1933 in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, a suburb of Pittsburgh. She was nearsighted as a young woman, and she later revealed that her famously alluring, smoldering screen stare came entirely from poor vision. She simply couldn't see what she was looking at. She graduated from the Carnegie Institute of Technology with a degree in drama in 1955, worked as a model in New York, and initially turned down the role of Agent 99 before eventually saying yes. During the entire run of the show, her private life was in quiet crisis. She was married to a man who presented himself as a glamorous European pilot who claimed to also be a spy, and who turned out to be hiding secrets of a truly extraordinary nature.
Just think, Max, because of us, everyone tomorrow morning will jump out of bed and jump into the shower.
She lived with that story for decades before finally putting it on paper. She told the full truth in her 2023 memoir, Getting Smarter, released when she was 90 years old, and the publishing world paid attention.
You'll be in extreme danger every minute.
And loving it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, poor 99.
After Get Smart, she appeared on Cheers, Mad About You, and Macmillan and Wife, and reprised Agent 99 in the 1989 reunion movie. In 2003, she wrote Living Alone and Loving It, a book about embracing solitude that became quietly influential. Barbara Feldon turned 93 on March 12, 2026. She is still alive. Number 3 on the list is Dick Gautier, who played Jaime the Robot in just 6 episodes across 4 seasons, and somehow became one of the most unforgettable characters the entire show ever produced. Jaime was a chaos robot who defected to control for the simplest reason imaginable.
Well, what's the matter now?
Our first fight.
Maxwell Smart was the first person who ever treated him like a human being. Gautier's deadpan delivery made the character legendary. When Smart told Jaime to kill the lights, Jaime pulled out a gun and shot the light switch. Every single time. The joke never got old.
Jaime, see if you can grab a waiter.
What most viewers never knew was that Dick Gautier was born on October 30th, 1931 in Culver City, California, the same studio town that had shaped so much of Hollywood history. Before television ever found him, he was a genuine Broadway star. He originated the role of Conrad Birdie, the swivel-hipped Elvis-inspired rock star at the center of Bye Bye Birdie, starring alongside Dick Van East in 1960 and earning a Tony Award nomination for his performance.
You rushed your eyeball.
I gave you an order, you monster. I order you to destroy.
He was spotted entirely by chance while working as an opening act for singer Margaret Whiting at the Blue Angel nightclub in New York City, where the show's director happened to be sitting in the audience that night. Mel Brooks, who co-created Get Smart, later cast Gautier as Robin Hood in the short-lived 1975 series When Things Were Rotten. He also built a significant second career as a voice actor across the 1980s, bringing to life Rodimus Prime in the Transformers and Serpentor in G.I. Joe, 2 animated characters who became icons for an entirely new generation of children. Away from performance entirely, he was a gifted illustrator and caricaturist of genuine professional standing. Gautier reprised Jaime for the 1989 Get Smart reunion movie, serving as best man at Max and 99's wedding. His daughter Denise confirmed that Dick Gautier died on January 13, 2017, at an assisted living facility in Arcadia, California, after a long illness. He was 85 years old and is survived by 3 children. Number 4 on the list is Edward Platt, who played the Chief, the exasperated, endlessly patient head of control, across all 5 seasons from 1965 to 1970. He had no other name on the show, just the title. Producer Leonard Stern said it plainly: Platt was irreplaceable. There was something in him.
The very agency that's responsible for our nation's security, I'd be laughed right out of the business.
Can I make a suggestion, Chief?
What is it?
A paternal patience wrapped around layers of suppressed fury that made Maxwell Smart's incompetence feel real rather than cartoonish. Don Adams himself credited Platt with making the whole show believable. Without him, Get Smart simply does not work. What most viewers never knew was that Edward Cuthbert Platt was born on February 14, 1916 on Staten Island, New York, into a family with a deep love of music. He attended Princeton University, left after his first year when thoughts of an operatic career took hold, then trained seriously at the Juilliard School.
Sit down. I'll fill you in as we go along.
Right, Chief.
He sang bass with the Mozart Opera Company, performed as a band vocalist with the legendary Paul Whiteman's orchestra, and appeared in New York nightclubs before acting finally claimed him. He served as a radio operator in World War II, briefly anchored local television news in Texas, and even hosted a children's show called Uncle Eddie's Birthday Party before Hollywood came calling. His film career before Get Smart was genuinely significant. He played James Dean's understanding juvenile officer in Rebel Without a Cause in 1955 and appeared in Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest in 1959, the very genre of serious espionage thriller that Get Smart would spend 5 seasons cheerfully dismantling. After the show ended, typecasting, financial collapse, and severe undiagnosed depression slowly closed in around him. He turned to producing with a 1973 Western called Santee. It wasn't enough. Edward Platt was found dead in his Santa Monica apartment on March 19, 1974. He was 58. His death was reported as a heart attack. For years, his family kept the truth buried. It was his son who finally confirmed it. Platt had taken his own life. It was his 3rd attempt. His ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean. Number 5 on the list is Bernie Kopell, who played Siegfried, Chaos's magnificently pompous chief villain across multiple seasons from 1966 to 1969. Siegfried carried himself with the absolute certainty of a man destined for world domination.
No, really, if not for the eye patch and the moustache on your glass, I would swear. On your glass? Your eye makes me smart.
Despite consistently losing to the most incompetent spy in the history of American television, Kopel played that glorious contradiction with complete conviction, never once winking at the camera, and his double act with Starker became one of the show's most reliable comic engines across the entire run.
You will never know the pressure of turning out a successful comedic series.
What most viewers never knew was that Bernie Kopel was born Bernard Morton Kopel on June 21, 1933 in Brooklyn, New York, into a Jewish family of Ukrainian ancestry. He was a shy, introverted child who discovered his extraordinary gift for accents and character voices at summer camp, of all places. He earned a dramatic arts degree from New York University, served in the United States Navy from 1955 to 1957, and drove a taxicab in Los Angeles while slowly building his acting career before his first real break arrived.
All right, Siegfried, but before we pay, we've got to check out your information.
Chief, look out!
That break came through producer Leonard Stern, who saw Kopel performing a Russian peddler character at the Players Ring Theater in Los Angeles. Stern was so stunned by his mastery of the dialect and the sheer physical specificity of the character that he cast him as Siegfried almost on the spot. Kopel also quietly helped his close friend King Moody land the role of Starker through that exact same connection, a favor that defined both their careers. After Get Smart, The Love Boat made him a star all over again. 250 episodes as the charming, roguish Dr. Adam Bricker from 1977 to 1986, filming in exotic locations around the world on a television budget. TV Guide once called him a man of 1,000 faces. He reprised Siegfried in the 1989 reunion movie and again in the 1995 revival. Bernie Kopel is 92 years old as of May 2026. He is still alive. Number 6 on the list is David Ketchum, who played the forever hidden Agent 13 in 13 episodes of Get Smart beginning in 1966. The premise never got old. Every time Maxwell Smart needed field intelligence, Agent 13 would be discovered crammed into something impossibly small. A mailbox, an airport locker, a vending machine, a washing machine, an ice machine. Ketchum stood 6 feet 2 inches tall, and he later said the washing machine episode was the hardest thing he ever had to physically survive on a television set. The bigger the man, the funnier the squeeze. What most viewers never knew was that David Ketchum was reportedly born in an elevator in Quincy, Illinois on February 4th, 1928. Possibly the most perfectly fitting origin story in the history of American television for a man who became famous famous for fitting into small spaces. He majored in electrical engineering at UCLA with every intention of becoming an engineer before something shifted completely. He joined USO performers entertaining American troops abroad, then hosted his own radio show in San Diego for 7 years, with early encouragement from Bob Hope and Doris Day, before the television world found him. Beyond his work in front of the camera, Ketchum maintained a parallel career of remarkable productivity as a writer, scripting episodes for The Andy Griffith Show, MASH, MacGyver, Full House, and nearly 4 dozen other productions across his long career. He had a particularly close working relationship with producer Gary Marshall. He replaced Victor French as Agent 13 in 1966 and returned loyally for both the 1989 reunion movie and the 1995 revival series. David Ketchum died on August 10, 2025 at a care facility in Thousand Oaks, California. He was 97 years old, survived by his wife of nearly 7 decades, 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and a great-grandson. His family said he leaves behind a legacy of laughter, warmth, and timeless television moments. Number 7 on the list is King Moody, who played Starker, Siegfried's bewildered, long-suffering henchman in 10 episodes of Get Smart from 1966 to 1969. Starker barely needed words to be funny. His entire function was to stand beside Siegfried, absorb whatever fresh absurdity was unfolding around him, and ask one genuinely confused question that Siegfried would answer with total withering contempt. Moody understood exactly what the role required of him and delivered it with complete precision every single time the cameras rolled. What most viewers never knew was that his real name was Robert Moody. King was simply a nickname that attached itself early and never left, and he was born on December 6, 1929 in New York City. He actually failed the audition for the role of Jaime the Robot before landing the role of Starker through his close personal friendship with Bernie Coppell. What looked like rejection turned out to be redirection. The side door turned out to be exactly the right door. Before the show, he had been steadily building a career in genre productions, most notably playing the spaceship captain in the 1959 cult science fiction film Teenagers from Outer Space. After Get Smart ended, he continued working across roughly 40 film and television productions: Bonanza, Dragnet, Chips, Combat, The Man from UNCLE, Quantum Leap, Starsky and Hutch, and many others spanning more than 3 decades of steady work. But here is the secret that almost no one ever connected to the face on screen. From 1969 to 1985, King Moody was Ronald McDonald. He played the most famous clown in the world in McDonald's commercials for 16 consecutive years, the longest tenure of any actor ever to portray the character, doing it quietly while McDonald's was becoming one of the most recognized brands on the planet. He reprised Starker in the 1989 Get Smart reunion movie. King Moody died on February 7, 2001 in Tarzana, California. He was 71 years old. Number 8 on the list is Victor French, who played Agent 44 in 3 episodes during Get Smart's first season in 1965 and 1966. Like Agent 13 after him, Agent 44 would surface in deliberately improbable hiding places: mailboxes, portholes, impossible tight corners. French had exactly the physical build to make that gag land every time. He was large, bearish, and gruff, and his considerable size made the cramped locations funnier by sheer contrast alone. Get Smart was just one early stop on a journey that would eventually make him one of the most genuinely beloved figures in the history of American television. What most viewers never knew was that Victor Edwin French was born on December 4th, 1934 in Santa Barbara, California, into an acting family with deep roots in the business. His father, Ted French, was a stuntman and Western film actor, and Victor began his own career exactly the same way, as a stuntman, before gradually transitioning to on-screen roles. Hollywood typecast him immediately and completely. His size, his face, and his physical bearing made him the automatic default choice for villains, thugs, and dangerous men across nearly 40 early television appearances throughout the late 1950s and early 1960s. Michael Landon changed everything. The two men met while working on Bonanza, became extraordinarily close friends, and Landon cast French as the warm-hearted Isaiah Edwards in Little House on the Prairie in 1974. A role of such genuine warmth and humanity that it shattered every assumption the industry had built around him. Landon later said he spent more time with French than most married couples spend together. They reunited on Highway to Heaven in 1984. French also appeared opposite Elvis Presley in the 1969 western Charo. Victor French was diagnosed with lung cancer and died just 3 months after his diagnosis on June 15, 1989 in Los Angeles. He was only 54 years old. At his own request, there were no services. His ashes were scattered at sea near Santa Barbara. Number 9 on the list is Suzanne Pleshette, who appeared as a guest star on Get Smart during its 1960s run. She arrived on that set already carrying the kind of effortless presence that made directors stop mid-conversation and look twice. A Brooklyn-born actress with a voice so distinctively low and throaty that she once recalled phone callers mistaking it for her father's when she answered at 4 years old. That voice followed her into every room she ever entered and made her unforgettable in everything she ever touched. What most viewers never knew was that Suzanne Pleshette was born on January 31st, 1937 in Brooklyn Heights, New York. Her father ran the Paramount Theaters in Manhattan during the big band era. Her mother was a dancer and artist who performed professionally under the stage name Geraldine Rivers. She attended the High School of the Performing Arts, trained at the neighborhood playhouse under some of New York's finest acting teachers, and made her way steadily toward Broadway before Hollywood arrived with something better. Alfred Hitchcock himself cast her in The Birds in 1963. She survived the making of it. On screen, her character didn't. Television became her true and lasting home. From 1972 to 1978, she played Emily Hartley on The Bob Newhart Show, earning 2 Emmy nominations and fundamentally redefining what a television wife was allowed to be: smart, sharp, and never anyone's accessory. In 1990, long after the show had ended, she returned for the most celebrated sitcom finale in television history, waking up beside Bob Newhart as his entire Newhart dream collapsed around them. She married 3 times. Her last husband, actor Tom Poston, died in April 2007. 8 months later, Suzanne Pleshette died of respiratory failure on January 19, 2008 in Los Angeles following a battle with lung cancer. She was 70 years old. Number 10 on the list is Ellen Weston, who played Dr. Steele, a control scientist running deep cover as a showgirl in 3 episodes of Get Smart's 3rd season. She had the rare and specific ability to make both sides of that double identity feel completely genuine, and fans of the show have never stopped talking about her. 3 episodes was all she was given. Most people who watched would tell you she deserved far more than that. What most viewers never knew was that Ellen Weston was born Ellen Ruth Weinstein on April 19, 1939 in New York City, into a household built entirely around education. Her mother was a school teacher. Her father was a superintendent of schools. She attended the High School of Performing Arts, then studied simultaneously at Hofstra University, New York University, and Hunter College on a drama scholarship, pursuing a degree in speech therapy while continuing to perform. She left during her senior year to act full-time and quietly completed her Bachelor of Arts 2 years later without making a fuss about it. Broadway came first. Toys in the Attic, A Far Country, and Mary Mary before a steady television career took shape. Beyond Get Smart, she appeared on Bewitched, Bonanza, Wonder Woman, The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, and The Bob Newhart Show, alongside extended runs on Guiding Light, Another World, and The Young and the Restless across multiple decades of daytime drama work. Then she moved behind the camera entirely and built a second career of equal distinction. She wrote and produced television movies, developed projects independently, and served as head writer of Guiding Light from 2002 to 2004, earning a Writers Guild of America award recognition. She married recording studio founder Ami Hadani in 1963. They had 1 son, John Weston, before eventually divorcing. Ellen Weston is believed to be 87 years old and still alive. Number 11 on the list is Johnny Whitaker, who appeared as a child guest star on Get Smart during the late 1960s. By then, he was already everywhere. The curly red hair, the gap-toothed grin, the completely natural ease in front of a camera that made him one of the most sought-after child performers in the entire country. What nobody watching at the time could possibly have known was what was quietly waiting for him on the other side of childhood, just beyond where the cameras could follow. What most viewers never knew was that John Orson Whitaker Jr. was born on December 13, 1959, in Van Nuys, California, the 5th of 8 children in his family. He appeared in his first television commercial at age 3. He became the original actor to play Scotty Baldwin on General Hospital, then appeared alongside Brian Keith in the 1966 comedy film The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming. Keith was so taken with him that he personally arranged for Whitaker to audition for Family Affair, a role originally written for a 10-year-old boy. When producers witnessed the chemistry between Whitaker and co-star Anissa Jones, they rewrote the characters entirely as 6-year-old twins. The show ran from 1966 to 1971 and made him a household name across America. Disney films followed quickly. Then came the 1973 Tom Sawyer musical, in which he gave a young Jodie Foster her very first on-screen kiss. Then Anissa Jones died of a drug overdose in 1976 at just 18 years old. Then came Whitaker's own decade-long descent. Cocaine, alcohol, financial ruin, lost apartments, lost jobs, and stretches of homelessness that left him with almost nothing. He found sobriety through his Mormon faith, served 2 full years as a missionary in Portugal, became fluent in Portuguese, and co-founded a substance abuse rehabilitation nonprofit. He received the former Child Star Lifetime Achievement Award in 1999 and announced plans for a memoir in 2025. Johnny Whitaker is 66 years old, and he is still alive. Get Smart premiered on September 18, 1965. It ended on May 11, 1970. 11 cast members, 7 deaths, 4 survivors. Don Adams died September 25, 2005 in Los Angeles. Edward Platt died March 19, 1974 in Santa Monica. King Moody died February 7, 2001 in Tarzana, California. Victor French died June 15, 1989 in Los Angeles. Dick Gautier died January 13, 2017 in Arcadia, California. Suzanne Plachette died January 19, 2008 in Los Angeles. David Ketchum died August 10, 2025 in Thousand Oaks, California. Barbara Feldon, Bernie Capel, Ellen Weston, and Johnny Whitaker are still alive. Which cast member surprised you the most? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more classic TV stories.